You ready?
If you are.
All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host.
Karen.
And we are live on a Sunday night, ready to do some podcasting. You can
Mhm.
find us everywhere that you find podcasts. I say, this Christmas, in addition to we got our Amazon wish list, and people are still
Mhm.
sending us addresses for their holiday cards and stuff. Make sure you send those in. Just email them. Make sure they're in the right address format. Come on, y'all know the address
Mhm.
format. Just let me.
Don't nobody
Let
want
me
to pick no paragraph to get your address. Don't nobody
Yeah,
want to
just
do
let
that.
me. I just want to copy and paste everybody. Y'all know how it is. Don't get too fancy.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I was thinking this today, man, and I'll probably put it on my social media somewhere too. But a great gift for your favorite podcasters is a 5-star review.
It is.
Yeah, just go on iTunes or Apple Podcast or 5-star ratings you can leave on Spotify and stuff. And whoever
Mhm.
you're listening to, not just us, but
Mm-mm.
whoever you do listen to, I'm gonna make sure to do it this year too for the people I haven't gotten to yet. I'm gonna
Yeah, there's
say,
some people I
hey,
haven't gotten to, but most people I have. But there are some I know I need
man,
to add to the list.
yeah. So get out there and do that, man. It's a very sweet feeling to know that your stuff is appreciated. It's near the end of the year. And some of these people been listening to for years. Some people you just been
Mhm.
listening to, they help you get through this year or whatever. And I say,
Ain't that the
send them
truth?
a little bit of, a little something, something. So that's my, official, hey, do that for Christmas. The official weapon of the show is
The taser.
an unofficial sport.
What about?
And bullet ball extreme, 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 extreme. And y'all know how it is. The shows will be a little random, a little less frequent. I'm in New York. I'm working on Game Theory season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it'll be a little bit more about just day-to-day life stuff that's happening. Uh so it'll be maybe a little less news heavy, but I still do have articles and things I want to talk about with you. But I guess first and foremost, how you doing?
I am doing good. Since the if you premium, you got the review of Avatar 2,
Avatar, The Way of the Water.
The Way of
The
the
Way of
Water. We
Yeah.
put that preview up, and it was just about as long as the movie.
Yeah, we
Uh,
maybe
we,
we
we,
just missed each other, but we had a lot of stuff to talk about.
we,
Well,
we was cutting it close.
we went to different movie theaters and we got different trailers, which was
Mm-hmm.
interesting. So we had a bunch of trailers to talk about. Obviously, the movie long as hell. We had a lot of stuff to talk about with the movie, and then we had some feedback for Black Panther, which our audience being a lot of Black people had a lot of long thoughts to say, and so we had long
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So if you're premium, check that out. I hope y'all enjoy it. But yeah, that was cool getting to go to the movie here and see it. I had a little bit of adventure with that because I went to the theater, which is in Times Square, not too far from where I'm staying. But I accidentally got a 2D showing. And if you heard me say anything about Avatar over the last what has it been, 13 years?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't to 2D. That's not that's not the point of any of this. Like
2D. That's why some people be mad because I was like, yeah, you watching it in 2D. That's why.
yeah, I'm an Avatar truther. Like I fuck with
Yeah.
Avatar. I'm not like these
Yeah,
Johnny
I'm
Come
not one of these
Lately
people that got the
ass.
selective memory,
Yeah, nah.
and shit like that. It didn't make all
But
that money for nothing.
the thing I remember about it the most is the fact that 3D was hitting different. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually got there and I reached for my first of all, I get to the fucking theater and I reach for the 3D glasses when it's time. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need some 3D glasses. He said, no, you won't. I said, pretty sure I'm seeing Avatar, so I will. And he was like, nah, you
Yeah.
got a 2D showing. I said, 2D? Well, why y'all even doing that to
Woo,
people?
child, the ghetto. I'm surprised you didn't turn around and look at him like, woo, no.
And there's gonna be other people up in there. And so, he said, well, apparently people have been doing this all day. So he was like,
Right. They walk
don't
in and look
worry.
for them glasses, and he was like, I ain't got no glasses for you. And then people have a fucking fit. Like, I'm not seeing this shit in the ghetto.
Well, I think people had just been going to see it, and so
Ah.
he told me like, don't worry, um, let me take care of the next couple people in line, and then I'll move you to a different showing. I said, okay, cool. I'm thinking this is the only fucking movie in theaters right now, so next showing probably be a few minutes. I can wait that out.
Right.
He
Yeah,
was
20,
like,
30 minutes.
it was 1:10, and I was there on time. And he was like, "Oh, the next showing is at 2:30 if you want to see 3D."
Ooh, nigga.
Because apparently one had just started like I don't know, like 12:45, and I was like, I might be able to walk in there, especially with where we sit, because we sit where no one likes to sit. I said I
Mm-mm.
might be able to go in there. I just will miss every preview, and I'll be cutting it a
Right.
little close, and maybe I missed the first few minutes of the movie. But I said, no, okay, fuck it. Let me just go sit down. I went and sat in the theater. And of course, you know us. I'm the only motherfucker masked and shit like that. I didn't
Me
care.
too. The whole time.
Yeah, I sit away from everybody. It didn't really bother
Yep.
me.
It
But
was me in the handicap chair, and I know what nobody gonna take that bitch. So now that no,
right.
now I went at 9 a.m. in the morning. Ain't nobody getting up that early in the morning, but me and a handful of people.
So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of dejected because I'm like, this shit ain't gonna hit the same.
Right.
The preview's about to start playing, and then I realize I'm in New York City.
New
The
York
I'm in,
City,
I'm in
baby.
I'm in Times Square. The next theater,
Like this
AMC is
probably
across the street, literally.
all right across the street. Okay, yeah, they got movie theater. It ain't like it is here. You fucking the next movie theater might be a 30-minute drive.
Yeah. And so I said, no, fuck this. I went on the app. I started trying to buy a ticket. And I think this is on purpose. When I started trying to buy the ticket, all of a sudden my internet started going out. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, they probably know I'm on AMC website. So I had to get out of there. And I got to the street and I ordered, and I saw that the next showing was 1:30. So
Mm,
like that was like they gave me plenty of time to buy a ticket, get across, see who I was in the theater, because I'm a big who all gonna be there theater
me,
seat buyer.
me too. I put like this. I do not understand people. I am bougie. When it comes to the movie theaters, I am bougie. I want seats to recline. I want seats that are comfortable.
Well,
I'm not trying to be.
you talking about the quality of the seat. That's not what I'm talking
No,
about.
I want assigned seats too. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I
I
want a
want all
sign
that
seat.
and assigned seats. No, bitch. I don't want to float in there and then somebody decide they want to fucking sit beside me because they can, bitch. No, this is my seat and I know the other one empty. So, bitch, you don't. I know this seat ain't yours.
Well, I couldn't guarantee what kind of seat was gonna be, is my point. So I couldn't be like, is this a recline seat with heat warm? I couldn't tell all that. And the one I was in, the Regal, which is the nicer theater, it seems, it was one of them like sit down and eat places. Like they had a little tray at your table and shit, like at your chair where you could
Oh,
order a
you
meal.
probably can order food and have them delivered to you and stuff.
Yeah, they had the
Right.
reclined seats and stuff. I mean, I like the seats, but it was just a matter of like I wasn't about to watch no 2D Avatar. Like
Mm,
that's stupid.
the
Might
ghetto.
as well, yeah. It's like watching a musical with no sound.
Right. You're like, bitch, why am I here? Ain't no singing.
So I get across the street, I get my seat, and um, I get in there. The seats are not as nice, but once again, I'm away from other people,
Right.
and I'm able to like give my 3D glasses. Here's what's funny. So anyway, I get my ticket. I'm going upstairs. This shit, because it's not like us where we have all this space and you have like 22 theaters in a single building and you can walk all around the flat building. No,
Right.
there, to go to a different theater you need to go up another floor. So my
Oh,
theaters on
that's right. That's right. They go up. They don't go out
yeah
because they don't have the land. Oh, so you had to go up.
yeah so the theater was on like the fourth floor or something. You take an elevator, and then the guy in the elevator is kind of your ticket taker guy. He scanned my phone.
Oh, probably to be
And
sure people go on the right floors and shit. Because I know that could be a few confusing and shit.
yeah, and to make sure, I guess you got a ticket. I guess someone could try to sneak in. It's gonna be a bit of an exercise, because that's the other thing. The escalator going up was broken, so you had to like climb a whole lot of steps to go up, I guess. So anyway, I get to the fourth floor, and as I'm getting close to the theater, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. And I'm getting kind of thirsty at this point because I've been, hustling to get to the other
Mhm.
theater. Then I had a little bit of time because now I'm early to cross the street, right? I got
Mhm.
10 minutes to the movie start, and I'm like, oh, I know what, I'll get a bottle of water. So I get a bottle of water, and I asked the dude that was running the concession, I said, hey, you by any chance, you know where I get my 3D glasses? And he goes, literally, like the shrug emoji in your phone. And
What?
yes.
You
And
you have no idea where I get my tickets from, a nigga. Nothing. You can't point me to
like
nobody. A
he
manager, something shit.
like he got the AMC shirt on. There's two other employees that had looked at him and they just busted out laughing. They was like, you don't know where to get the 3D glasses, man? Come on, man. Like, that's not a hard question. He was like, I don't know. Nobody ever asked before. And then they was like, sir, it's in the theater. When you actually get in the theater, they're in there. And so I'm like, oh, okay.
Ah,
So I
okay.
got,
Because normally they
because
give them to you up front, right?
here in Charlotte, when you buy your ticket or when the person, they got an elevator, so it makes sense that they wouldn't have a box of fucking,
Yeah, you
glasses.
you 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 and you would want the person that's like the elevator ticket person also trying to hand that shit at the same
Yeah.
time, right?
So they scan you and then they just hand it to you in Charlotte, like when you walk in the door or whatever.
Right.
Here, you walk in the theater, that they're just a fucking box of 3D glasses sitting upside the wall, and you just grab them. And
They're
they're in
like, fuck them,
plastic.
we don't care. Kick them, take them.
So yeah, brother man sold me out a little bit, but I saw the movie and it was fine, and and I had a good time, and we reviewed it and all that stuff. Um, so that was my theater experience. That was cool. But yeah, a lot of stuff has been crazy. I got locked out of this Airbnb.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, so they don't know, but long story no, long story long. So I ordered something. I ordered some First of all, I ordered something from Instacart, right? And I think it was a bunch of Bad Bath and Beyond stuff. And the reason I had to order that is because where I'm staying is probably some white people shit because they ain't got no hand towels.
They don't believe in hand towels. What the fuck is this? They do not. But what do you wash your ass with? Wash your face with? I don't under fucking stand.
What did white hand towels do to white people, man? Or
Right?
is
Are
it
y'all
only black
protesting
people?
against it? Do you just throw water on your ass? I don't get it.
Are hand towels only a black thing?
I
Or is it
don't
like
know, cause white people look like, what's a hand towel? And you were like, what the
but I
fuck?
mean, I don't know that the person is white that I'm renting this from. I'm just saying, is it only a hand towel thing? Is it only black people that fuck with hand towels like that? Like, where it's cultural? I don't. Anyway,
I don't know.
so because like I took a couple showers in here, and I'm sorry, it don't hit the same without the hand towel. Like I have a
Mm-mm.
big ass block of soap that I'm rubbing on myself like it's a motherfucking commercial for a TV show or something. And it's like,
Mm-mm.
nah, man, I need that rag. You got to get up in there, homie.
Right. You got cracks and crevices and shit.
Yeah,
No.
like it
Like,
feel weird.
no.
Yeah, it feel weird. Trying to
Right.
get a block of soap all in your cracks
Right.
and
How you clean
crevices.
your belly button? The fuck is this?
Come on, man. So anyway, that was on the list. Stuff I needed to get, and so and there's a few other knickknacks on there and stuff. Like I always get cleaning supplies. I guess they tricking me, I don't know. But I always get cleaning shit because I'm like, if I'm gonna be here for however long, I needed to be clean enough for me and
Mm-hmm.
clean. I know they have maid and cleaning services you can pay, but I mean, I guess I'm just used to the idea like I can scrub a toilet is not the end of the world.
Right.
If I got a kitchen and it's got a sink, I'm gonna be doing dishes, so I'm gonna need a
Right.
drain stopper, shit like that. And I always wonder if they keep that stuff after you leave, which and I guess I'll find out when I get back to the old Airbnb if any of my accoutrements are sitting up in there from the last time I was there. Like,
Or if they just take them, right? They might just take,
yeah,
or
like
somebody else
that's my
might have just
water.
used
That's
them
the
up.
water. That's the Brita water pitcher I bought. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
so they decided that was a good look, huh? But yeah, so I had all this shit coming, some towels and cleaning supplies and stuff. And on the app for Instacart, it's like your order was marked as completed. And I'm like, huh, well, I didn't buzz them in. Normally to get in, you have to buzz them in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear anybody by the front door because the instructions are to leave them at the front door of the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hit up customer service, let them know, hey, this dude never hit me back. I never got my shit.
But it's marked
Um,
as complete.
it's marked as complete. Like, what's going on? And after probably 5-10 minutes, they just said, we'll redeliver the order and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a $10 bonus or some shit. I said, okay, cool. Hopefully the shit gets here tonight. If not, another motherfucking bar soap shower tonight, right? And so, um, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, I said, oh, what if he just left it out front because someone else let him in or something? Maybe I just, I hate to give somebody a demerit on their, you know, rating and shit. I already done tipped them because you tip before you even get your shit. So I
Right.
said, I hope I'm not fucking up his rating that he actually did deliver the shit. So I go look at the
Mm.
front door, nothing's there. And then I say, oh, what if he just left it on the first floor? Like he like maybe he just walked in, set it down where they set the Amazon packages and shit. So I got my house shoes, slippers on. I got actually no, I had some regular shoes on, but I got on pajama pants
Right.
and a t-shirt.
Because you're
Uh,
not expected to be outside. Right.
and it's 30 degrees and raining. Okay.
Yeah, nigga, it be cold up there.
So I go down to check the first floor and I don't see the packages. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. So he really didn't deliver the shit.
He hustled you.
He got me. Someone out there just chilling with a bunch of hand towels, like, ooh, free hand towels. I don't know.
Ooh, I
So
can finally wash my ass.
yeah, I'm like, he had a good rating. I don't like he fucked up his whole rating for some hand towels. Like this nigga need Clorox wipes that bad. Anyway, I go back to the door. I have locked myself out. I don't have keys, and apparently the way it closed, it locked behind me. So now I'm just stuck.
Mm,
But I remembered after a few minutes, there was a maintenance person that was supposed to come. Um, because the person that owns this Airbnb or whatever, he had some stuff delivered when I was at work, and he was like, "Oh yeah, maintenance person is gonna come by and put it together. Is like a chair and a cat and like a the nightstand and all this shit. So if you could just there's a lockbox outside, you can put the keys in the lockbox, and anyone with the code can open up the lockbox, get the keys out, right?" So I'm like, "Oh yeah, I left the keys in the lockbox that time.
mm-hmm.
That was a couple of days ago. I'll just go get the fucking keys out the lockbox and then I'll
And
let
you be
myself in."
good. Right.
Divine providence. Shout out to God looking out for your boy. I go outside. I check the lockbox. And first thing I notice is the lockbox ain't the way I left it. Because when I had left the lockbox, I made sure all the digits, I don't know if it's just my Negro sense or what, but I left all the digits way different than the numbers they actually were. You know what I'm saying? So whatever,
Right.
like let's say the code was 1 2 3 4, I left that shit as like 7 0 9 5. You know what I mean? Like whatever,
Mhm.
just enough to throw the next motherfucker off, right?
Right.
So let's say the code was 1 2 3 4, right? When I went to go look at the lockbox, it was now 2 2 2 2 3 4. You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
Someone had moved it to one digit off. I said, no, that don't make no fucking sense.
It's
And
right.
so I put the code in, open it, it's empty. So now
Mm.
I'm outside, it's raining, I have no keys. I have pajamas and a t-shirt. It's 40 degrees, and I have my phone. So I start hitting up the Airbnb dude. Like I'm like texting him, calling him, like, "Hey man, I'm stuck. I'm outside the building. The keys are not in the lockbox no more. What the fuck we gonna do?" Because I don't
Right.
want to freeze to death and die out here. And he was like, "Oh, I have another building, another person in this building, and they accidentally took your keys. I'm gonna try to contact them to get
Right.
them to let you in, and then to give you your keys back so you can get in the room." Well, this motherfucker wasn't there. They was out living their life. And so,
I'm living my best life.
right, I couldn't buzz in nothing. And
Uh,
so I'm sitting out here and it's getting cold and rainy. And I'm like, well, is there anyone in the building that can let me in? He was like, well, this tenant, how that no one was letting me in. And meanwhile, the janitor comes out and starts, cleaning the floors and stuff like that. And he sees me outside and he does that thing where like he sees me but kind of ignores me.
right.
Then he starts, he mops all the stairs and shit, comes back down to put the mop up. And I seen him he looked back at me before he like went back into the janitor room to put up the mop. So I'm
Right.
like, I know this nigga see me.
Right.
And I'm big black dude in New York. I'm, obviously worried about, how I look and what
Right.
motherfuckers thinking and shit. But listen, 40 degrees, 30 degrees in the rain, it'll tell you. I said, fuck racism. I knocked on that door. I said, hey man, let me in. I know you see.
Right.
And he was like, no, no, the kid. I said, man, you gotta let me in. I'm in three, I'm like in this unit. You
Yeah.
gotta let me in.
Yeah. You
And,
gave them. You're like, I actually am here.
and
Right.
then he comes out, he points to the camera, he says, camera. I said, I know, I'm staying here. I've seen the cameras. Like,
Right. I'm
good,
not
that's
trying to
good.
rob you. I see
It's
the cameras. The cameras see me. I'm not trying to commit a crime or no shit. I know I'm
like
being filmed.
I'm like, that's for my safety and yours, nigga. Like,
Yeah,
let me.
like this. I'm glad it's there. So if I get robbed, it'll be on film.
What robber show up with pajamas and a motherfucking t-shirt and 40
And you can't
degrees
even run
raining
away.
with just his phone? Like, let me in,
You
bro.
are
This
a
the worst
terrible
robbery of
robber.
all time. I don't even got nothing to
A,
carry.
a, a robber, a robber is like, fuck it. I'm gonna take a nap when I get done.
Right. I'll be watching the New York news. No one robbing people in pajamas and t-shirts. I
Y'all
seen
wearing Timberlands
zero robberies of with motherfuckers just cold.
with their slippers.
No face covering, no bags, no
You be
nothing.
trying to hide shit.
Right. Like, and so I'm like, is this, and in my mind, I'm thinking, like, is this a race thing? Because I've been here several days. You see me come in and out. Is this like a black thing or whatever? I'm in a town, part of town, people say it's kind of racist and stuff. I don't know. I mean, I
Right.
assume everyone's kind of racist. Anyway, but he did let me in, but he just gave me several more like verbal, like, the cameras and shit. I said, I know, bro. I'm about to sit in this hallway. And he says, well, the super can let you in, but they won't be here for 2 hours. And I'm like, I guess I'm gonna be waiting 2 hours on these steps.
Yeah.
Like, and meanwhile, the Airbnb dude was like, hit me back, and he said, well, the woman hasn't hit me back about your keys. I'm just gonna call a locksmith. And I said, okay. He said, they'll be here in 15, 20 minutes or something. And I'm gonna give him your number. He's gonna call you when he's close. You can let him in and stuff. I said, okay, well, if that's the case, that's best case scenario. I mean, shit, worst case scenario, I was thinking of like, I was going to have to Airbnb to a hotel that let me pay with Apple Pay and sleep in a hotel at some
Right, because
point.
I wasn't
And
gonna be outside
tell everybody at work, I'll let you know when I am back
in my
when I'm able
building.
to help. Yeah.
Like, fuck that.
But so I said, 15, 20 minutes, that ain't nothing. I can do that. But as I was sitting on the steps, the building owner and the super and stuff, they came in to deliver, like, I don't know, something to their residents that stay here. I don't know if it's Christmas stuff or packages or something, but it was very like they were stopping by each door and giving people stuff.
Right.
And they could not have been nicer or more
Aw.
courteous or professional. They weren't intimidated or scared of me, or at least they didn't give me
Appear
no
to be.
vibes of like,
Yeah.
oh no, a black. Like, it was very like, and they were like some race, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Right.
know what it was, but like they were like, not black, but probably not white, and they were just like
Right.
completely like, oh yeah, no problem, I can get you the
They
keys. You don't
probably
need
had this
to.
happen before.
I'm sure, yeah, I bet everybody in New York
Right.
got some type of story, and they was like, don't worry about it, we got you, we'll get the keys. Are the keys in there? I said, they already in the keys are in the place. I just need to get back in, and you can have the spare back and stuff. And the guy's name was Angel, and he was like a very
Oh.
friendly dude. He was like, man, I got you. Give me about he said, you know what, I'm gonna take a cab for you, so give me 15-20 minutes and I'll be right back. So he took like a cab to like speed up the process and came back.
Walking in.
He told me the only thing was look out for the owner of the building because she was gonna be handing out stuff. He's like, don't let nothing happen to her, and if anything happened to her, you gotta be her defender, big man. I said, I got you, bro. Whatever,
Right,
whatever
because she
you
going
need.
from like door to door, right?
Yeah, but I didn't think anything was. I think he just said it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got back in my apartment. Maybe 25 minutes later or something. He did tell me multiple times that this was not his job and that the people that basically sublet this shit from him, that they the ones that
Is
really responsible for
responsible for
everything.
this, right?
But he said he was basically hooking me up, and I told him I really do appreciate it. And he told me it's a lot of old people that live here, so no loud parties and shit. I wanted to be like,
Uh,
nigga, I'm the last
loud.
motherfucker on earth you got to worry about some parties or some
Ain't
loud.
no party happening up in this bitch.
Right, like bro, like this the most speaking I'm
I
planning on
am the
doing.
least partiest of the part. Shit, them old people might be more rambunctious than me.
Right, I'm gonna play video games. I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna probably watch TV and shit. Like I promise you're great. Um,
Right. I am not. I'm the least of your worries. Trust.
right. I'm like shit. Them old people need to. They probably love. They probably would love me. Like if I stayed here all the time, they'd be like, I love that guy. You don't do shit. He
He
just
don't do nothing.
go straight up the flights of stairs and right into the
Right
couch and
there.
try to cool down.
I
Okay.
know that's right. You fuck around, they be bringing you shit. Young man, I see you having a hard day at work. I baked you something.
Yeah,
Old people
I'm
be
always courteous and stuff. Like I
right.
always speak to the people, which I know in New York you don't have to do, but that's just how I am. So
Me too.
I'm always courteous and to the folks and
Even
stuff.
when I bumped into people, I was saying, "Excuse me."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was one thing when I went to Times Square. This unlike last time, it was crowded. In Times Square, so it
Mm,
was because it was at the time I went out there being a Saturday and shit.
okay,
So
because yeah,
I
last
mean,
time we went during a week, right?
you bumping into people all over the place. And I
Right.
had just watched
It's a
on the
little
news.
different.
I just watched on the news something saying about don't how to watch out for pickpockets and shit. And I was like,
Uh,
damn, well,
because people are so in such close proximity to each other. Yeah.
yeah. And to be honest, man, the way them pickpockets looked on them videotapes, if they spot you and they want you, they got you. I don't even think it's nothing you could.
Ain't a motherfucking thing you can do about it.
I mean, it just seemed like because they work in crews and shit. Like one motherfucker
And
spot you, another person do a lookout, then the other person like,
right then, one person take it. It's like Ocean's 11.
yeah,
One person take it, and by the time you realize your shit's stolen, it's like 8 people down the block. You won't find that shit.
yeah. So at any rate, though, in the building and stuff, I always try to be courteous and speak to everybody and stuff, even when they don't necessarily speak back or they don't seem prepared for somebody to speak to them. I just do it because I'm like, big black dude standing in this building.
Correct.
I want y'all to know I'm safe and to leave me the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so anyway, I get back in and I'm sitting here and I think I called you and talked to you a little bit. And then like, it's probably at this point 10 o'clock at night or something. I get a buzzer, like and I let the person in. It's my fucking Instacart. And the guy comes up and actually, you know what? I don't even think I got a buzzer. I think he got in somehow and he knocked on my door. And I opened up the door and he was like, yeah, I got your Instacart stuff. And I said, but it's like 4 hours late and it's already been canceled. Like I wouldn't have even knocked him for just keeping the shit at that point. Like
Not
I
at that
didn't
point.
know. And he told me his phone had broke. And so he was like, he don't know why I said the delivery was completed, but his phone broke, but he wanted to still complete the delivery. And
Right.
I'm like, oh
Right.
man. So
Right.
I basically hit the customer service back and told him like, hey, he
He
did deliver
received
it.
it.
Go ahead and cancel that redelivery or whatever. And they said just keep the credit. But that was just like a weird, crazy thing that happened.
Yeah, and the thing is, that man was so dedicated that that man actually was like going to like different places to be sure he got what Roger
Different dude.
had.
No, that's a
Oh,
different dude.
that's
It
different.
was
Okay.
another dude where I ordered some shit from like CVS, and I thought he was just bullshitting because he kept being like, "You want to replace this? You want to replace that?" And I was like, "Man, I only ordered 4 things. If you can't find the 3 out of the 4, what the fuck are we doing?" Like it was like, "I got your Dr. Pepper." I was like, "Bro, that's the least important thing on the fucking on the order." Like the other shit was like shit I needed, and but he when he and it took like an hour or something, like a lot longer than it said. It was supposed to be real quick, and he was
Right.
like, oh yeah, I went to 4 different places and I was trying to find it, and I was like, oh no, you should have just messaged me that, because I would have
Yeah.
told you don't worry about it, just keep the tip and don't worry about it, because I wasn't trying to get the motherfucker to run around, Manhattan. I just
Yeah.
I just literally thought
Just
it
try-
was a quick trip, and why not just have him do the Instacart rather than go out in the cold? But he
right.
was dedicated.
Yeah,
Um,
I had to remember. I was like, yeah, it ain't like down here when you go to the Publix. Ain't no other Publix within miles. So bitches either
right.
here you ain't got it, but there it's like, oh, it's a CVS and literally across the street.
Um, let's see what else happened. I got to see Chris Lambert.
Yay!
Now, I don't think we talked about that last time we had a show.
No.
Chris came out, and he's gonna be in, possibly, depending on the edit, but I think he will be on Game Theory as one of the men on the street people. Last year we had Brandon Collins on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. Like I never went to the man on the street things. I was just in my routine. I was leaving the building, coming back here and doing this podcast. That's
Yeah,
what I
you
was.
was like, that's it, buddy.
Yeah. And so, but for this time being, it was Chris, and I'm trying to learn a little bit more, about some of the stuff and get out and experience a little bit more. I'm gonna be here longer. And so
Right.
this time I said, okay, let me at least go see if Chris is how this is filmed, and talk to Chris.
Right. So you
And
could be
so
more aware of the process, right?
mhm. And I wanted to talk to Chris, and so I went to that. It was fun, one thing that's interesting about at least the stuff I'm doing, obviously I got a lot of coworkers and they're gonna be doing whatever they want to do, and there's people in New York that are hitting me up that want to hang out and do shit, and I'm sure I will over the course of this 4 months. But as of right now, the main shit I like doing is stuff with work because everyone gets COVID tested.
Right.
So the odds and the likelihood of any issues with that is very low so far, because it's like every day we come into work, we take a rapid test.
Yeah,
When
I
we
remember
first got the
last time you were saying had a couple of people like you. They was like, Rod followed all the rules. We went to see him when I was there. They was like, we love him. He followed all the rules.
Yeah, I mean, I keep my mask on and shit unless I'm like eating lunch or something. But yeah, so this was cool because they made everyone take COVID tests. So at some point in the room, like they brought some pizza and everybody ate pizza and we all got to sit and talk. And for those that don't know the full story, I have been a fan of Bomani since the 3 hour lunch break,
Mm-hmm.
possibly even before that.
Yeah, in
But definitely,
Raleigh.
yeah, definitely on the radio, definitely 3 hour lunch break.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's the
think
first time I heard him.
I was a little too late to when he had a weekend show with Shannon. Like I think I caught some of it, but not enough
Right.
to really be on it like that. Um, and so Chris Lamberth is also a fan, and Bo's actually gone to Chris Lamberth stand up back like 10 years ago when Chris Lamberth was in like the Raleigh Durham area and stuff.
Mm.
Um, and so uh he knows Chris, right? And then I
Ah,
know we of course know Chris Lambert through the podcast and everything
right.
else, through all the stuff. And so the person that booked Chris to be on the show did not know that me or Bo knew him. So it was just really serendipity.
Oh.
Like it was just one of them small world type of things. And so I told Bo like, oh yeah, Chris is gonna be out there for Man on the Street one of these days, and I might stop by when he's out there. So we got to chop it up a little bit, man. You know, Bo came in from the cold and ate some pizza, and we talked, and they warmed up and stuff before he went back out there on the streets. Which man, that man on the street thing, I do not envy Bo. He's got to be out there
You got to film
basically
back to back. Yeah.
2 nights straight for at least a few hours. It's cold as fuck, and then you got to talk to these people, and it's all this moving shit around you, and there's all these loud sounds and motherfucking
Because you're
characters stopping and
outside.
staring and saying shit.
In the background, they got to edit out. Yes.
Yeah, it's just but this year at least he won't have to do it. Like we had 6 shows, he had to do it 6 times at least. This time he shouldn't have to do that. I think we filmed all this shit early so that he don't, because now we know how to make a show. So now the
Right.
decisions are a lot
Everybody
smarter.
streamlined the process. Be like, what was easier? What did we waste time and energy on? The time we doing that, we could have focused on this, right?
Yeah, so he ain't got to worry about all that. So we basically did it all in 2 nights, but they still 2 long cold ass nights, So but it was good to get to see him and talk to him and talk with Chris Lamberth, and just kind of chop it up about just life and shit. And then I got to meet some of the other people, because like a lot of the people that was gonna be on are like comedians and stuff. So I got to meet some other people back there. I think a guy kind of asked Chris if he would like to work, and not get a spot at a club. So I was like, oh, that's dope. I know Chris is always looking for work in the city as far as doing stand up and shit. So I said, cool, man.
Good.
Maybe some good things happen from that.
Mhm.
And that night, with me being out there for Chris's part, they were looking for something like a joke, or for like a way for Bo to summarize something really quick, but like in like a one-liner kind of thing.
Mhm.
And last year I said that was one of the areas I felt like I needed to and wanted to improve, which is while we were filming, when the pressure's on, when the clock is ticking, and
Yeah,
they
to be able to
need
like come up with
material
something
to
immediately.
come up
Yeah,
with something.
that's more
Yeah, like,
challenging.
yeah, because it's like it's easy to freeze. Your head starts thinking all the dumb shit, and of course, this is pass or fail. So like, if it is dumb, people gonna be like, nope, can't use that. And I came up with a good line, and they used it, and so it may make the show, it may not, but like I was glad to be there and be
Mhm.
useful, so that was
Right.
cool.
Right. And I
Mm.
know it's very kind of helpful because even though Bo's interjecting and they're talking back and forth and things like that, it was kind of helpful to have somebody there for shit like that. Like it might not
Yeah,
happen often, but if it does happen, it would be helpful to have somebody there where that's their job.
yeah.
Hmm.
So that was cool. So remember when I told you they put some furniture in here,
Hmm.
and they were gonna have a maintenance person or somebody come through and put it together.
Yes.
They needed me to let them in, but I'm like, I'm gonna be at work basically the whole time, so I don't really, they're gonna have to adjust their schedule if they need me to be here to let
Right.
them in. Well, the dude was like, okay, well, that's cool. You can just, if you want to, leave those keys in a lockbox. Well, we seen how that turned out, so
Yeah, it did not end well.
yeah, not sure I want to do that again. So
Mm-mm. No, no more lock boxes, y'all.
yeah, and so so he said, if you want to just take it out of the box, you can. So I took it out of the box, and I actually put the furniture together last night. It was really simple to do. So
Ah,
I put the chair together, and it's a much better, comfortable chair than the one I had. It's a more sturdy; it can handle my weight more than the other one. And then I put together the desk, which I mean the nightstand too.
so they can just
So
come pick up the old stuff.
yeah, yeah. So I told him, I don't know what you want me to do. I texted him, but I probably should email him tomorrow. But I was like,
Hmm.
but if there's something you want to do with this old stuff, the boxes and shit, just let me know, because I got them sitting in the other bedroom right now because I'm not using that one. But at some point, somebody gonna want to get it, and I don't know these New York trash rules. Like, do you
Mm-mm.
just sit this shit on the street? Do you like they got some like
They
weird
rules don't
recycle?
make no sense. They didn't want to fine you. Who knows?
Yeah,
Then I don't know.
I don't want to get the building a fine or something because I did the wrong thing and
Right.
didn't know what I was doing. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna wait for him to hit me back about that. But yeah, so I let them know. But yeah, it was easy to put together, and I'm glad I did it. Because it's one of those things where I haven't had that much time to decompress and chill until, I had to take these days off of the show and stuff for the podcast. But yeah, putting that together was easy. Hook my Xbox up, um uh and start, getting all that stuff straightened out. And there was a couple more things I did. Oh, ain't no washing machine or dryer. Unlike the last place I stayed where they had
Yeah,
that
last
washer
place
dryer.
had it included. Okay.
And so I'm like, how do motherfuckers do? Because I know
Clothes.
these motherfuckers ain't going up in the laundromat like, God bless the dead. My grandma Peg. I used to go
That's
to the
because they
laundry. She
had
used to work
to.
at the laundromat, and I used to go there
Hmm.
with her. And you wash clothes all day, but there's a shit ton of people that go in there and they, you know, do the clothes. They wait on their clothes and they wash them themselves. And
Hmm.
I was like, I'm definitely not spending 2-3 hours in the motherfucking laundromat, dog. It's not
Too
happening.
time consuming.
Like,
Like, and I know that's a place of privilege, because I'm not knocking it. If do what you got to do, but I know I'm at a place of privilege where I'm like, nah, dog.
right.
I would pay for somebody to come and
And this
and
TV
and wash these
and
bitches.
yeah, and this TV show money is good money. To me, like I don't have
Right,
to live on it all year long, so I'm not having to truly ration it out. To be like,
right.
I might not get another check for a year. Like my shit is very much like, listen, the black out tip people, they got us. So,
Shout out to y'all.
so, so if I can, motherfucking
Y'all
spend,
give us choices.
yeah. So if I can spend some money to get
Thank
it
you.
taken care of, I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. And so apparent, and it's just that thing. I hadn't thought about it. The way my anxious brain works sometimes is very much like oh God, how are we gonna solve this problem? And I just had to do a simple like slow down and think. Rod, there's no problem you have that every people haven't had before. Whatever you fucking thinking of, someone else has dealt with. And so this was easy. They have laundry pickup and delivery.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, for the building, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and I went online. I set it up. I don't know if I'm paying too much or too little. Don't matter. I can afford the amount that I'm paying.
Mhm.
I think the minimum is like $40 or something like that. But they come. You leave the laundry bag, out front, and you give it to them. You can even tell them like, "Hey, I want you to hang dry this." Like I have that North Carolina shirt that I like. That I was like, "Can you just hang dry this? Because I don't want you to shrink it in the dryer."
Right.
Um, and he said, yeah. And I just handed him a bag of my clothes and they have a delivery window. They're gonna bring it back after work tomorrow and I'll get my clothes back. So
Yeah, and the thing is for in certain parts of the country, even people's homes, some people actually do it because they're like, I just don't have time to wash clothes. Like I might even have washers and dryers, whatever. Like it's just more convenient to do this and just pay,
oh, I'm
the
sure there's
cost.
a ton of reasons. There's a ton of reasons.
Hmm.
I mean, what if you're disabled in some way that you can't do it?
Correct.
There's a ton of reasons. I just had never thought of it, be it privilege, be
Mm-mm.
it the
Right.
fact that we just live in a place that always got washers, dryers, and shit. I don't know,
Hmm.
but I had never even thought about it. And then, of course, it's a simple solution to it. But yeah, we'll see how it turns out tomorrow when I get it back. But they literally just picked it up before we started the show. That's what I was waiting on. Um,
Yay.
the look, this radiator and me, we have reached a truce of I open up all the windows, turn on the fan and the AC, and the radiator just gonna do what it's gonna do. It's really got nothing to do with me. Some days it's some days and sometimes during the day it's fine. It's like 70, 60, some like high 60s, low 70s. I can deal with all of that. But then some days somebody in this motherfucker turning up to 80 and I just be like, oh, okay then. So
Oh,
we fight.
you do gotta build it for the old people.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Um So I just basically I open when that happens, I just open up the windows and I turn on the fan and the AC and we just gonna do it. But there's one room in here that doesn't have a heater in it. Um, which it has like a hot fan thing but I just don't ever plug that shit up. I don't why would I want hot air blowing on me? It's got like, I don't even know what temperature we got to get to for me to start considering that, but yeah, anyway, so but it has the AC unit in it. The only thing is this AC unit only works on one specific particular setting, or it don't cool at all. And
Oh,
the way that it cools, it gets to 60 degrees, which is kind of fucking cold. But those are the only choices I have, either 60 degrees or I sleep at 80 degrees. And I can't sleep at 80 degrees. I keep waking up, turning
yeah, you're
over. I'll never
sweating.
fucking sleep. 60, I just hibernate like a fucking bear. You just like get under all the covers and shit. Just like,
That's
okay.
me anyway.
Yeah. So I just like I'm just sleeping at 60 these nights, like it just is what it is. We just gotta live with it. But
I'm
at
about,
least it's a solution.
let me know when you're done. I wanted to share some stuff about what's been happening with me.
Um, okay. The last thing I had. Oh well, I got two more things. I'll go through real
Go ahead.
quick.
No, no,
Um,
there was no rush, but just letting you know in case you want to move on to talk about other things.
I ordered some shit from DoorDash. I wanted some shrimp and fries because I
Hmm.
was like, oh, that's on the menu. Cool. Let me get some shrimp and fries. I ain't had no shrimp and fries in a long time. Fried shrimp and fries. They canceled it, and you know how they can replace it with the suggestion of the place. They replaced it with chicken thighs.
That's not the same. They
Sure.
need the chicken strips.
And it was an upcharge.
Oh, kiss my ass. I would cancel that. Don't send that shit to me.
Like, what? Why? What was the
Mm-mm.
reason? What
I'd
was
have
I
called back
need
and
to
be
know
like,
the
I didn't
logic?
want this. You canceled it. Don't upcharge me randomly. You didn't call me to tell me you were doing this. You just changed the motherfucking price. I don't want this.
I just need the logic. I don't care because I'm black, I'll eat chicken, but I just need the logic of like why y'all thought it was the same. like why you was like, you know what else tastes like
Shrimp,
shrimp and fries?
chicken.
Chicken
Everything
thighs.
tastes like chicken. And chicken thighs. Not chicken
Like,
legs, wings, just mm-mm.
like in
Mm-mm.
the and someone in the chat is saying it seemed like I went out, but here's the thing: I had already had some chicken thighs on my order, dog. So like,
They
it
was like, give
wasn't
more
like I
chicken
was like,
thighs.
you know what I need, some chicken. Like, I was like,
You
I
know, I
got
need
fucking
more
chicken
chicken
thighs.
thighs.
Like, I got a fridge full of chicken thighs in there right now. I'm just like, when I'm gonna eat this shit? This is motherfucking
Okay, so
chicken
that's
thighs.
not the only thing you ordered. You have other things. So we're just saying, and instead of them just canceling it and just calling it a day, they threw it and then upcharge you. But it's like, don't upcharge me for some shit I don't want.
I guess they was like Rick Ross, we doing thighs now. So that was the second to last thing. And then the very last thing is I went and got incense from my spot, Scintillate.
I like that little spot.
Mm-hmm. You went there
Yeah,
with me, right? We went
yes.
together.
Yeah, next time I go, I'm gonna get some jewelry. I love the jewelry in there. I almost started to
Yeah.
get some last time, but I was like, no. But next time I go, I got to get me some jewelry. It was so pretty.
Yeah, I was behind a guy a couple who was buying Christmas presents for like their loved ones and stuff. And
Hmm.
they was getting everything from there, and he was wrapping up jewelry and
Right, because they probably have family members that love shit like that. Yeah.
yeah, so he was wrapping all that shit up. And so that was fine. But yeah, so I went in there and I had to wait because it was because of that couple. And the dude kept being, oh, I'm sorry, it's too, I'm sorry you have to wait. Da, da, da. I said, no, man, honestly, don't even worry about it. I'm not mad at all. Take your
Yeah,
time.
not even a rush. Like, because I had to
Yeah.
walk over here anyway. Yeah, I'm not in a rush to get back.
Yeah, like just and I know you're doing your
Your
job,
job, right? It's not
So
like you ignoring me, right?
right. And so he, so he's ringing me up or whatever. And while that is happening, I just happened to see the fucking, like, you hear on the outside all this commotion, and it's
Hmm.
just like ding 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 ding, oh ding ding ding, the horns are blowing, people are like coming like on the street in their cars yelling and shit, and I'm like, oh, what's going on outside?
Right.
And I thought maybe it was the like a Christmas Carol people, or
Okay.
the people who do um what do you call it? Uh Christmas Carol people, or the people that do the like Salvation Army. You know those people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said, oh, okay, that's probably what it is. But it wasn't. It was actually Santa Claus.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, it was Santa Claus.
That would not have been my guess. He early.
Right. Like full Santa Claus down.
Probably had
And
all the kids coming out. I know that's what the commotion was. Them kids running out the fucking front doors.
he stopped and came in to scintillate, and
Oh.
he was like, ho 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 and all this shit. And matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can share the screen so y'all can see it. I took a video of it, but this is him in scintillate. Let me know if y'all can't hear this or whatever. Hopefully this shit works.
How are you? Just wanted to come by and say hello. Enjoy the holiday season. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you, Santa.
Merry Christmas.
I love you, Santa. Merry Christmas. I play Santa in my own quiet house down the block. Robin and I, we know each other almost 20 years. Merry Christmas.
So that was like a little cool thing.
That's adorable.
Turns out he's like the fire chief from up the block, and he dresses as Santa every year, and this is his thing. He comes from store to store and greets everybody. I just happened to be in there when he did it, so I thought that was cute.
Yes.
Cool moment in the big city. So yeah, that's it for me. We're all caught up. What's going on with you?
Oh, I just got 4 things. At least 4 things. I kind of jotted down. Number 1, I know the bread that sits on top of the refrigerator, it misses you, because I don't touch the temperature, bitch. The temperature, whatever it's set on, bitch, that's what it's set on. So I guess it got warm. That bread was like, bitch, I'm gonna mold up on you. That's what I'm gonna do, because you ain't been keeping the house cold. So I'm gonna get some bread. Like, there's mold on this bitch. I was like, oh, duh, Karen, you ain't had it 23 degrees in here. No wonder that bread was like, no, girl. What I'm gonna do, I'm about to mold on you.
Yeah, I think also when I was making those egg toast, I was going through the bread at a pretty good clip. And you probably not making too many egg toast or nothing, so it's just sitting there.
I probably need to try that. I haven't made them on my own. But I think I will try that, because it looks, and it always is good. I have been making sandwiches though, but I guess not at the pace that the bread is used to, or either the bread is like, look, I'm used to being on top of this refrigerator at a smooth 15 degrees. You got me at 50. Fucked up, bitch. I'm gonna get mold. And so the bread, I'll let you know, the bread was like, no.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever 15 degrees, but I hear you. It's definitely probably more.
Yeah, I'm joking. It ain't that cold, but I'm always cold. So to me, everything feel like 15 degrees. That's why I don't touch the thing. I'm fine.
You got the thermostat control right now, and you still wrapped up. So that's on you.
Yes.
You can have any temperature you want.
And and I probably should. It's probably not that complicated, but don't ask me for
It's
the
not
other
hard
one.
at all.
That shit confused the fuck out of me. And you asked me to change it one time, and I did the opposite of what you asked. That shit made no sense to me. But this one is probably a lot simpler. Like you said, we save power, so I'm money on the power bill. So I'm just gonna let it do whatever it do. If it feel like it's gonna be, it's like we gonna be 50 today. That's what we gonna be. We gonna be colder than that. Bitch, I wrap up like we. I don't have no problems with you.
It's right now the heat is set to 70. Do you want to set it something different, or do you want it to stay at 70?
It's at 70. You can turn down to 65.
You want the heat set to 65? You're wrapped up in a blanket right now. You want it to be colder.
I guess 70 is fine. Like I said, I'm fine. 70 is fine. Okay.
I'm just saying it's not hard. If you want it, if it's cold, you can turn it up. It's very easily. This is not rocket science. You just need to log into the app. If you need to log in, just let me know.
I think I got scared last time I fucked it up. You said it, and I said it, and I didn't go heat the air, and I just had everybody here sweating. So I was like, you know what, Karen, this is not your ministry. Leave the heat air conditioning unit alone. You don't know what the fuck you doing.
It's your 4 months. You can do it however you feel.
I was like, this is not working. This is not working out for the kid. So, and I know it's probably not that hard. I probably will figure out how to do it. But I don't mind because it's easier to wrap yourself up. Because then if I get hot, I could just take it off. You know what I'm saying, and cool down. So like I say, me and the old people at your building, I probably get them like, oh, this feels nice. While you up there sweating and shit. Oh, also, while I was talking to you on the phone, me and the shower rod, we ain't friends. I was cleaning up the bathroom, so I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna put the floor mats up in the shower, and they like some kind of special rubber that you can throw in the washing machine. So I, threw the mats in the washing machine, to clean them and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get down here. I'm gonna clean the tubs. I'm gonna clean, to clean the walls of the bathtub and stuff and shit like that. Okay, cool. But for some reason, the pole for the shower was like, I'm gonna give up the ghost, and I don't feel like sticking no more. And I don't know what I did to it and why we ain't friends, but it just decided to let loose on the wall. I was like, oh, I don't feel like holding on no more. And it kept falling. I kept putting it up. It wouldn't tighten. I don't know what was happening. I put it up, and I guess it didn't like what I did. And it didn't hurt, but it just decided to just tumble down upside my head. And I'm not tall. So I was like, well, shit. I was like, it was just me and the shower curtain in here having a motherfucker powwow because, bitch, I just want you to hang up. And it was like, nah, I'm not sticking to this wall. I don't care how many times you twist, how much you try, I'm not doing it. So I went online, and they have like these things you can stick to the wall, and you can kind of hook it in there. So I bought the little sticky things to see if that work. If that don't work, I'm just gonna get a new rod.
Okay.
Because I'm like, you know what I'm not gonna do is sit here and fight with the rod, and you showering something. They say, I done got the whole bathroom wet.
Yeah, I remember when I put it up. It's not as easy as the instructions make it seem like it would be. I definitely remember that, and I know I'm taller than you, and I have a long arm length, so like, and I still remember it was kind of hard. Like, you get it on there, and then you have to like lock it a certain way, then you have to like spin it until it like sticks and all this shit, and like, yeah, it wasn't as easy as they made it seem. So I figured it would be a little difficult for somebody shorter to do anyway. So if we still had that same thing when I get back, I'll try to fix it.
Okay, we can do that. Like I said, if these sticky things don't work, I'll try again. With another rod to see if that works. And like you said, it might be close to the ground because, like I said, I can't reach that.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about
that. So I'm definitely going to do that. Oh, also, I found when I was looking for I went to Publix, and I was looking for some wipes because the other ones, they just dried out. I was like, these wipes are dry. Every time I go grab them, I keep forgetting that they dry. So I just threw them away, and I found some new wipes. And I put like this. Some of y'all out here might be on top of it, but it's new to me. I did not know they had double-sided wipes. They had one side of the wipes that's smooth and one side of the wipes that's scrubby. I'd never seen this before. And you know me, I was like, yeah, you charge more for this. I was like, this shit ain't gonna work. Bitch, I got in there and I flipped that stuff on. I got the scrub, and I was like, oh shit, it scrubs for real. Like it ain't no bullshit scrub. It was like, no, bitch, I scrub, and what I'm gonna do is scrub. So, honey, I got in there. I was scrubbing down the sink. I was scrubbing the top of the stove. I was bitch, let's go.
Right now, this sounds like if the black maid from Tom and Jerry had a podcast. That's what I figured it would sound like.
Yes, so boss.
Thomas! Does this sound like, I feel like this is her podcast right now.
She found some new cleaning shit. She didn't know how to behave.
It was scrubbing on both
I clean
sides.
up real good for Master now. He might have to fuck around and pay me $1 more per hour for this work. But like I said, and that's funny shit like that. When you get old, that's the shit old people get excited about. You get excited about shit like that. You like, oh shit, I got a wipe that not only can wipe, but that bitch I can flip it over and I can scrub. So what happens is you scrub and then I turn around and I can wipe it down with the smooth side. And I'm using the same thing. So I was like, bitch, let's go. We got a 2-for-1. I was like, you know what? I see why y'all upcharging. I'm double-sided here. So I was like, let's go.
What are these called? What are these called?
Hold on. They Clorox double wipes.
Okay. Don't let it go get it. I
okay.
Believe.
Yeah,
it's not a quiz.
They Clorox double wipe and they have they got like purple. Like I know the sticker is like a purple yellow type of thing on it. So when you looking, that's what it's called. So
this is a podcast for washed people. I mean, we talking about laundry delivery and double-sided wipes, apparently.
Come on, bitch, double-sided wipes. And somebody was just talking about a steam mop. Honey, I was looking at one of those. I don't think I'm gonna get one of those. I'm gonna get a little small handheld one to make it easier to do the cracks and crevices around the sinks and stuff like that. So I think I was thinking about getting one of those because bitch, I'm about convenience. What I'm not gonna do is unnecessarily bend my knees, unnecessarily hurt my back. That's what I'm not gonna do. So what I'm gonna do, gonna have extension parts to it because I'm short. So it needs to reach far. It needs to reach low. It need to something where I'm not putting no manpower. That's for young people shit. I'm no manpower. They be like, use elbow grease. Elbow grease my ass. Let this machine scrub. That's why I pay for the convenience for the machine to scrub. Bitch, you scrub, not me. And so I'm looking for shit like that to clean too, because I'm like, I have other shit to do other than have my bathtub tied up for 5 hours because I put some Clorox in it and I'm gonna let it sit.
But we actually have that equipment in the house, so it's just
and I pulled some of it out too. I was like, you know what? Some of it I had to charge, so I charged some of it up because I started using it and it started dying. So I charged some of that shit up. I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Pull this shit out and we got all the attachments and all that shit to it. So what I did, I got everything super duper clean. I still need to clean the rest of the bathroom, but bitch, that tub is spotless now.
Oh, cool. Is there anything else?
Yeah, my last thing, and I know Lakita gonna like this because she's been asking me forever. I went to go get my hair done. And I've always keep my hair like plaited up and braided up and stuff like that. And so we got this thing called Rev Air, and everybody in the natural community been talking about Rev Air. And everybody been saying if you have natural hair, they say it's a great way to dry your hair where you can keep your curls. And you can keep a lot of moisture in your hair, particularly with 4C hair. It dries all types of hair. And so your mama got one. And so we did the test run on me, to see how it worked and all that stuff out. And most of the time I like my hair in this curly state, like naturally just curly. And so because I'm a lazy natural, I'm not putting in a whole lot of effort into it. I like, bitch, just grow. As long as you grow on, you happy, I'm happy, we all cool. But I'm not the type of person that want to touchy feely in my hair. I happen not to be that type of person. And so I normally just keep plait it up and let it grow. And like I said, I have 4C hair, my hair is really, really curly. And so your mama used it, and she I guess when you do it, it stretches your hair out. And it makes it looks like it's flat ironed or straightened combed, but it's not. And you could use, I want to say you use hot heat and cold heat. And I actually absolutely love it. And when she did, it's called Rev Air. And I think they have it on sale. And like because once your hair Rev Air, once your hair gets long like mine, particularly my texture, my hair is thick. So it's actually a lot of work to dry it and shit. And so a lot of times when I do my hair, I'll just plait it up and go on and just let it air dry. But this way I can kind of, really dry it. And I like the fact that it doesn't completely, like I said, it doesn't dry my hair out. My hair is, like I said, your mama did my hair last week, and my hair is still soft. Where it don't strip the moisture out of it. I absolutely love it, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not cheap, y'all, but it is worth the cost. Particularly if you have small children, and you don't want to flat iron their hair, and you don't want to deal with them when it comes to trying to press their hair, and shit like that. You wash their hair, and you can take this and just dry their hair and just go on about your business. I ain't got to fight you. We ain't got to wrestle with each other. I ain't got to sit the baby on it to dry. The baby about to crying because they don't like the noise of this shit like that. And so they have two versions of it. The second version is smaller, and it's not as loud. The first one is loud, and that was one of the major complaints, because this has been something that me and her have been talking about, looking into for a while. So I am so glad I purchased it. And so when she did it, she actually let my hair down. And like I say, I knew my hair had length to it, but I didn't realize how long it was, if that makes sense. And the thing is, it's not as long as it probably could be. Your mama was telling me, like, she was like, I didn't do it where it would make your hair like even straighter than that. I was like, oh wow. And so I was surprised. Like it was like past my shoulders, it's down my back. I was like, I didn't realize I had so much hair. I was like, boy, when they talk about shrinkage and stuff, I said, bitch, they ain't lying. Cause I remember when people look at my hair, they always go, "Ooh, your hair is thick." I had no idea what they meant by that. I was like, "What do you mean thick? Hair is hair." They was like, "No, your hair is thick." They was like, "You have a small circumference, but you got a lot of hair on that small circumference of your head." And so they was like, "Your hair is the hair that'll fool somebody." They'd be like, I can do this in 15 minutes. They was like, girl, they get to tackling with your hair. They be like, I got the upcharge. See, somebody like me is, and this is one reason why I'm thank God for your mother-in-law, and I know how to do my own hair, because my hair is the shit they be want to upcharge you for, because it takes so much time. You have to use a lot of products and shit like that on my texture of hair, particularly with the length. So that's why a lot of times, once your hair gets to a certain length like mine, it's actually cheaper to literally learn how to do it yourself, or else you're gonna be spending an arm and a leg trying to get somebody else to know how to do it. And the thing is, they got to know what they're doing, because the length of my hair and the way my hair is now, and the way I be hearing about some of the horror stories about people going and getting their natural hair done, just me and some of these people not knowing what they were doing. Bitch, I will punch you in your motherfucking face. You fuck my hair up, as long as it took me to grow this shit out. If you don't know what you're doing, just tell me I don't know what I'm doing. Because a lot of times they do shit for convenience. So they be just doing shit just to straighten your hair out, because they don't want to tussle with it and shit like that. No, you just don't know what you're doing. Because just because my hair is 4C, and just because my hair is thick and curly, it does not mean that it's hard to manage. You just don't know what you're doing. And so I was so happy and so surprised. I showed you the pictures, and I put them in the pictures online and stuff. And yeah, my hair is really healthy. It's really thick, and it's a lot longer, particularly because, like I said, that's the first time I've actually seen it straight in a long time. And so I am very happy. So shout out to my mother-in-law for taking care of it and conditioning it, and keeping the ends trimmed and stuff like that. And I hate the pandemic happened, but with the pandemic, that's how I learned how to take care of it, because I'm the type of person where, not trying to be funny, hair just grows. I I can go or leave with hair. You know me, baby, and Roger done been with me through it all, honey. I done been through the Salt and Pepper. I done been through the Tony Braxton. I done been with the bob and weave. I done been with the all weave. I done been with the finger rolls. You name it. Child, I've been there and done that. And so, but this right here is the longest my hair has literally ever been in my life. So I'm very pleased. And I'm very happy with my hair journey. Like I really am. And so I just, for those of you that did not know or don't follow me online and stuff, just know that my hair is actually really healthy and really, really gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks great, and it's gotten so long and pretty, and I've it not that it doesn't matter. You always look great, whatever your hair looks like, but I
Oh,
think
thank you.
it's been cool to watch after, years of you having to struggle with certain products and certain
Mm-hmm.
styles and stuff and breakage and all that stuff. It's
Right.
been beautiful to watch, like, the natural hair kind of stick and be a thing for you. um I never really like to weigh in too much on the whole hair shit with people because it's so loaded with, all kinds of opinions and right and wrongs and all this shit. I don't know about all that.
Right.
But I know for you particularly, this has
That's a
been,
lot of the reason why I usually have to get it cut and stuff all of the
yeah,
time because of the breaking and the
right.
shedding and the and like you said, like my
And there's a
hair.
lot of stuff that affects hair, like birth
Correct.
control,
Yes.
yeah, people's hormones, stress. So it's not, it's not all, um like when people make all these judgments of folks' hair and shit from afar. Alopecia, like,
Right.
no one really knows what someone's going through, but as somebody that knows what you've gone through,
Mhm.
um it's been very cool to watch your hair, grow like this and stuff. And I just wish I would have been there to get to kind of see it, but I'll see it soon.
Yay! And so it's one of those things where I am glad that this is just me personally. I'm glad that I made the decision to because that go natural. And for those of you that's been listening for a while, I've just been following my journey. I don't know how long I've been natural, but it's been a while. And so I am really glad that I made that decision. And I actually just did it on a whim. I was actually just going down your mom's house, just twiddling and twirling my hair, and I was saying, do I want to get a cut? Do I not want to get a cut? Do I want to get a cut? Do I not want to get a cut? And when I got that, I was like, you know what? Go ahead and cut it. And she did. And I think that's the best decision I could have ever made. And also, I was talking to my mom, and she, because she been asking me, because, she been seeing me go through the natural process. And she's been saying that she can tell that my hair is really long. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was like, oh, your hair been growing. It's pretty. It's been growing. And so she was saying, as you get older, because she's like 84, 85. When I say my aunt, I'm talking about
Mhm.
when I say my mom, I'm talking about my aunt, for those of you that's like, well, your mama died. My biological mother passed. But my aunt, who's my mom, she's like 83, 84, somewhere around in there. And as you get older, your texture of your hair and stuff change. She has a different texture of hair than me. And so now she gets to relax like once a year. And
Mhm.
because the lady that was doing her hair was like, I could relax your hair more frequently, but she said, I would literally be just taking your money.
Mhm.
And so I was telling my mama, I was like, well, mama, if she does this once a year, I looked at my mom, I said, mama, you already a natural. She was like, well, I was like, yeah, if she only does this once a year, I said, you might as well just skip it and just let it grow and just have her cut the ends.
Mhm.
And she was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. I said, yeah. I say, if you just doing it one time a year, I said, so basically you've been literally just dealing with your natural hair in this natural format because her hair is naturally straighter than mine. Her hair isn't as coarse as mine. And so, and I was very, not trying to funny, I was very glad that she was receptive to it, so we can have like a true conversation. Because this is a conversation we've had back and forth a while anyway, and she went from somebody who I never get a natural. I never go natural. And I was like, Mama, that's fine. Like, and I guess she thought I was pressuring her. I wasn't pressuring her. I was like, Mama, that's cool. I said, I'm not pressuring you to do anything. I've just let you know this is what works for me. Because I think so many people have so many complex feelings about it and things that they went through and how they felt and things like that. Till whenever you bring it up, people get very emotional on quote unquote both sides when it comes to that and feel like they need to go 10 toes down and argue. I'm not here to argue with you. Like I told her, I said, I'm just telling you what works for me. And so I'm just glad that we could have a conversation with it. And she was kind of open to hear. Like, I don't know if she's gonna do it or not, but she was like, yeah, she was like, because when you go, she was like, they charge you more. I was like, yeah. I said that way you can just do whatever the cheap rate is every time you go, and you don't because my mama, she's one of them old black women. She is dedicated. Bi-weekly, you gonna see her. Like, ain't no she been like that since I've been a kid. Bi-weekly, that is a old black woman that's like, what you not gonna do is catch me with my hair not done. That's what you not gonna do. And so it's one of those things where she was like, well, that will save me some money. I was like, yeah. So I was glad to actually sit and have a conversation about her with that. So and I just wanted to share these things since we were just talking about things that would have been happening to us.
No, that's what the show is. That's what it's about. So thank you for sharing. I guess we can do a little bit of quick news before we dip out of here. You know, and once again, not 100% sure when the next show will be, but you know, we'll try. Hopefully, get a little bit more on the schedule as
everything kind of get a routine.
Yeah, I think one thing I'm noticing with my like anxiety and stuff, it's not that when I'm proactive about solving the little questions and this little shit, you know, where do you put the trash versus the recyclables? You know, because the last place I was at, it was a big deal. You know, this place, they just got a couple of things out front, you just throw it in there.
Right.
You know, taking care of stuff, even honestly just burning this incense and the familiar smell. I never realized how much of that was like an anxiety thing for me, probably, you know, like
And burning out of the candles.
yeah, stuff like that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, it does something, you know. I don't want to say I guess aromatherapy is real, you know.
It
I don't,
is. Mm-hmm.
but you know, and just taking care of little stuff to make a place feel more manageable, you know, cleaning supplies, the hand towels, you know, as things like that get in here, and I started to feel less anxious. And I think, you know, that helps establish routines and stuff. And then, you know, obviously work stuff, you got to do that too. But I think maybe we haven't done this in a while, but we definitely need to do it. We do some coronavirus news.
Coronavirus. Again? Look, here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black out who tips is doing their part, but the dumbest expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the intubation crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit. I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kumpo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans. Man, damn. Looks like it's no Drew holiday for you and your mans. I'm sick of black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus. Fuck that COVID-19 is unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah. So fuck that COVID-19 is unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah.
Coronavirus. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, it's still a pandemic out this bitch. Yeah, I watched some of the World Cup for work and just in general for enjoyment. And of course, on top of rooting for France as a black man, not really sure how anybody wasn't. But like, I heard all the stories and all the, you know, colonizer stuff y'all was trying to say. I get it, but I turned on the matches and seen a team full of niggas and was like, sign me up, Mbappe for life, bitch. This how we roll now. Like,
yep.
Apparently, viva la France, okay? Y'all can say whatever y'all want to about France, but that's what James Baldwin and Dorothy Dandridge went to get away from this motherfucker. So feel like home away from home to me. Shit, I might go to France now. But yeah, so I was but when you look, every time they did a motherfucking zoom out and you seen that crowd, I said, oh, it's up in there with them, you know. So
crowd ain't no joke.
The news is still happening. Los Angeles County COVID hospitalization skyrocketed. I'm not sure if it's gone back down yet, but that was from a couple weeks ago, and they were thinking about bringing back the mask mandates in California.
Yeah.
You know, California, specifically Los Angeles, are the places that would be likely to bring them back. It's going to be interesting because I keep wondering if it's a thing you can bring back. I think people should try
really hard.
I think a lot of people it was always a suggestion whether it was mandatory or not. Even when it was quote unquote mandatory, people were shooting up businesses, and we all were in places where it was mandatory, and somebody would be like, I'm not doing that shit. Now what y'all gonna do? Kick me out? And they basically just get what they want, because most people ain't want no problems.
Right. And y'all not paying the people to be security. So no, I'm not
Yeah.
going to confront this customer. You hire
Not
somebody
fine.
else for that. Right.
Thanksgiving kicked off a COVID surge. It's slamming U.S. hospitals already battling the triple-demic.
I can see that.
The thing for this, and I keep bringing it up, and not to be a stickler, but I think we should, and you brought this up a long time ago, we need to change the definition of vaccinated.
Yes, we do.
Because it's becoming a thing where people are saying vaccinated people are this, vaccinated people are that, and they're talking about vaccines from sometimes 2 years ago.
Right.
And
Right. And the thing is, in my personal opinion, vaccinated, to be fully vaccinated, is 4 shots. Some people might have 5, but in my opinion, if you really want to count being fully vaccinated, you need 4 shots.
You need your latest booster. Let's just leave it there, because I don't know what number is for each person. I just know there's people that are skipping the boosters and then being like, I'm vaccinated. Boosters. And it's like, you're actually not anymore, because either the antibodies have all died out, or some of these vaccines are updated with to fight these new strains, and you got the old shit.
Right, because a lot of people, they got the first shot, they never go back. They got the second shot because it was in 2 pieces, and then after that you need the boosters. Yeah. And so people didn't go back for the boosters, and that's the problem.
Yeah, people blowing out Nintendo cartridges talking about, I got the latest. I'm playing Madden 2. You like, no, nigga, you're playing literally Madden number 2. Okay. You're not playing Madden TOO. You playing Madden TWO, because you using some old shit, man. Get the new shit, man.
Right. And so that's what frustrates me with these numbers. They be like, well, you got vaccinated. I was like, no, they're not fully vaccinated.
For the first time ever, more vaccinated people are. It's like, define vaccinated.
Defined it, because that matters. These are people that had, put like this, these are people that have had 3 or less, or 2 or less. Like let's tell the truth when we talk about these numbers.
And there's people that you would, I know people are smart and shit, but they're human, and I think there's just a lot of people that just got tired of keeping up with it, or they're like, I'll get around to it, and it's not as important to them. And it's like, well, now you're getting sick again, and you think you're like, but I'm vaccinated. It's like, yeah, but when was that? Last December? Like,
right. When was the last time you got a shot? Because every time I was eligible for a shot, I took my ass up there to get a shot. I was not fucking around, and I have actually been like, every time, I'm to the point now, every time I get my flu shot, I'm gonna be like, where my COVID shot too?
Yeah. School lunch debt is back under the microscope after COVID funding ends. Yeah, school lunch debt is coming back because kids in school.
Yeah,
and there's bills that have been racked up, and the motherfucking school districts want the money now. So that's like, hey, school's back, your kids physically here. What's up with that $106,000 of debt these parents have racked up?
Right, and the thing about it, and what's so fucked up, this is just me, in my opinion. America, yes, there are places in this country that are food deserts, but overall, America is not a food poor country. We just not. And so, motherfucker, I got to pay taxes anyway, bitch. Go ahead and raise taxes and cover fucking school lunch for every child, regardless of if they use the shit or not. It doesn't make sense.
One of the things that's interesting is in the pandemic, a lot of these bills were taken care of from federal money, for the American Rescue Plan Act, and it covered the cost of lunches. And there was a lot of stuff that was stuck in there that was just quality of life improvements for people that I think, I don't know, it's almost like that money is gone now. Republicans said we're not extending this shit no more, and it does become like okay, so what's next? Yeah, what does this mean for everybody else?
And my thing is, not something funny, what does this mean? Let's say you are a parent, you really cannot pay this back. What does it mean? Are you gonna come and arrest me? And now you're gonna ding my credit? My kid, but like this, then the reason why I say school lunch got to be paid for, I don't have a choice. My child has to be in school. It is not a fucking
Yeah,
option for their asses not to be there. The shit ought to be covered.
yeah, I think we all agree on that. And I think especially when you talk about, like you said, the fact that the shit is still going to be costing us all this money and
Right.
taxes are still going to go up and all this shit. What is the fight about at this point?
What is the fight? Like that's the piece I
But
don't
yeah,
understand.
I also just think it sucks because it's like, here comes the bill for people. Like that's fucked up for them that they okay, cool, school's back. Oh yeah, okay, my kid gets to come back in person. Also, what about that $200 you owe us? Like, where's this coming from again? Like, yeah, that $200, can we get that 200? Remember you owe us $200 from last year? Oh man, you know what, I didn't miss this when they was working from home.
Right. That I didn't miss this. And as a recipient of free and reduced lunch, like bitch, like no, you know what I'm saying?
Some
Like some
parents,
people really can't afford it.
I think some parents should charge their kids anyway. Like even when they was working at home, school at home. Like that's gonna be $250 for that candy bar. Just letting you know. I
Just
put it on
letting
your
you
tab.
know.
I put it on your tab. I just want you to feel like you completely at school. Okay. Um,
I take it at your allowance.
China to drop travel tracing as it relaxed a zero COVID policy. Yeah. This was a big one for some shit that I have been saying was brewing for a minute. But for everybody that did the whole like, we need to be like China, why can't we just do what China doing? And it's like, well, that's a whole ass motherfucking communist dictatorship, and them
It's
people
not
don't
here.
have rights to do shit, and that's never gonna be America. But even over there, there's just a matter of time because motherfuckers was protesting in the streets. They was tired of the zero COVID policy, tired of the
Yeah.
lockdown, and it
And
was
they shit
breaking
was
out.
extreme for people. People are like, I can't fucking run my business. Y'all can't lock me in this place. Like I said, when that fire broke out and the people died because they had basically welded like the exit shut, and people was like, yeah, people died because they couldn't get out because of your zero tolerance. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens after this, because their numbers are going to go up, because you read the statistics that say a lot of the elderly people have not been vaccinated or partially vaccinated. So when people just go out here and just interact all willy-nilly, people are going to get sick.
Well, their vaccines also aren't as effective. The one that they use is like 60% effective, I believe. But also the lockdowns were instantaneous. It didn't matter where you were at. They were locking down like results, mandatory city testing, everyone take a test in a day. Zero COVID did not work, and people continued to get COVID. So it wasn't
Mhm.
even a matter of, and then they started using, allegedly started using some of the shit to stop dissension. So say you were headed to a protest, they would be like, the app on your phone that's supposed to track you, they'd be like, Karen, you just came into contact with someone with COVID, you got locked down. And you like,
Yes, and
I've
that
only been in my house, I haven't done anything. Yeah, you got to lock down, and no, we don't
mhm.
have an excuse or a reason for you. You just got to get back into your apartment and stay there, and you're gonna miss the protest.
Yep, and a lot of people are very angry, and a lot of people very upset about that, because they was like, "This is bullshit," and you are purposefully, that people are mad, that people are upset, and this is another form of controlling the populace, because people are like, "Hey, like we're not saying do nothing, but what you can't do is just I'm at the grocery store, and all of a sudden I'm locked down in this bitch. I can't go back to my family. I can't go. I'm like locked in here just because you've decided."
Yeah, experts are encouraging indoor masking again. Um, COVID hospitalizations among older American. Well, indoor masking in big cities. Sorry, I meant to go back. They're encouraging indoor masking in bigger cities. COVID hospitalization among older Americans is cause for concern. Worry about your granny. That's once again, a lot of that I think is because people aren't keeping up to date with their shots and their boosters too. Um, of course, we have data now. It takes a while to get this kind of data, but 2 years of US COVID-19 vaccines prevented millions of hospitalizations and deaths.
I,
Like
I,
most of us knew that.
mm-hmm.
They believe that the effect prevented more than 18 million additional hospitalizations and more than 3 million additional deaths
Yeah,
because of the COVID vaccine program.
yeah. Because the thing is, you're weighing down the staff, you're weighing down the hospitals. They were doing makeshift shit because like it was a problem. And like I said, nobody cares until you have something minor happen to you, and then all of a sudden it takes the EMS 3 hours to get to you because they tied up with COVID patients, and shit like that. Like, for people that's not being directly impacted by it, you don't care until you can't get like basic necessities taken care of at a hospital because they're weighed down and understaffed. And also the thing is, just like with the restaurant workers, same thing with the nurses and the doctors. Them people leaving, a lot of people ain't coming back. Some of them have died, and some of them have watched coworkers die, and some of them have been sick themselves multiple times. And you're talking about a lot of people with a lot of experience that are leaving this field, and they're not going to be replaced. So the last thing you want to do is overwhelm the system again.
White House to restart the free COVID home test program, basically to say, y'all are gonna be going to visit your family and doing shit. Take a test before.
Well, I guess I re up because I whatever the max was, I got them, and then I'm gonna get whatever the max again. I'm gonna get them bitches too.
And some areas now even have the COVID/flu like test. Like you can test for both at the same time.
Oh, let's go, flu.
Yeah, I think I was reading something from our local Charlotte Observer that said that we have some in the Charlotte area that test for both.
That's good because it's one of those things where you need to know which one it is, because you testing and everything is negative. You're like, well, fuck, I still feel bad. I don't know what it is.
Right.
And you really just might have the flu. And at least you know it's the flu and not COVID.
A study released Wednesday by the National Center for Health Statistics found that more than 3,500 Americans died of long COVID-related illnesses in the first 2.5 years of the pandemic. Now, it's not, that seems like, obviously, it's a very small fraction of the millions of deaths, but basically the point is long COVID can also be deadly. Right now, people just kind of associate it with like long-term illness or like it takes a while to recover from it. But they're saying like from this study, there that some people did die of long COVID, but it would be categorized as something different.
Right.
Most of the long COVID deaths occurred in people between 75 and 84 years old, and they accounted for almost 30% of the deaths, closely followed by 85 and older. Almost 80% of the deaths occurred among non-Hispanic whites. The death rate was highest at 15 in every 100,000 people among American Indians and Alaskan Native people, and the lowest was among Asians. This is yet another piece of evidence that long COVID can be fatal, says Ziad Al-Ali, a clinical epidemiologist at Washington University and chief of research and development at VA St. Louis Health Care System. Let's not trivialize it or say it's all in people's heads, is what he said.
Right. And the thing is, if I'm not mistaken, let me know if I'm wrong. You actually said that people to get the shot, it reduces their chances of not that you won't get it at all, it just reduces it, right?
Yep. Matter of fact,
Right.
The next article is COVID-19 vaccines half the risk of reinfection and severe disease. But yeah, it also reduces the risk of long COVID. Like there's no argument against the vaccines. And honestly, man, I've seen somebody still tweeting stuff like that. Man. It's 2022 and there were still people tweeting stuff like, y'all really just gonna get the vaccine? I think
yes, bitch, I am.
They took a video and put a filter on it from the White House spokeswoman, something Kareem. Don't let me get her name right or get her name wrong. But and they put a clown emoji over her saying like, yeah, we encouraging everybody to get vaccinated. Karine Jean-Pierre. So and she was like, y'all really just gonna get this vaccine? And people was of course clowning this person, but what the fuck, dog? Like, it's 2022. You have no evidence that the vaccine is some bullshit. You still like it was crazy. Anyway,
Yes, like they said, some people don't believe that hot grease hurt till it pop you. So
yeah.
like my mom and them used to say, you don't believe it's hot till they hit you in the face, and then you're like, oh shit.
Doctors warned of over deadly camel flu symptoms as World Cup fans return to England.
What the hell's a camel flu?
Never heard of this shit in my life. Medical staff
Did the camels do it? The camels out to get them?
Medical staff across England have been put on alert for signs of the deadly camel flu. Case of the flu could now rise to the huge numbers of fans who flock to the Middle Eastern country for the tournament and who have been exposed to camels. The UK Health Secretary has prompted doctors to look out for people suffering from breathing difficulties and a fever. The illness is deadlier than COVID-19, with over a third of its sufferers dying.
Oh, is this because?
I'm
about to say, is this because you have people that are like, ooh, let me ride the camels for fun, and they're not used to the camels, and the camels end up making them sick?
I don't know. I'm reading the article. I don't know.
Okay, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
This is okay. No, you're thinking out loud the things.
Yeah, I am. I'm thinking out loud, baby. My bad.
I don't have the answers. I'm
no
reading
problem.
to see. The illness is deadlier than COVID, with over a third of sufferers dying compared to 4% of COVID sufferers. A briefing note was sent by the HSA, according to the Sun, stating the clinicians and public health teams should specifically be alert to the possibility of MERS in returning travelers from the World Cup. The risk of infection to UK residents is very low, but may be higher in those with exposure to specific risk factors within the region, such as camels. It can be acquired from close contact with camels or from consuming camel products. It's like unpasteurized camel milk. So yeah, I guess if people is riding camels, like you said, for fun, or drinking unpasteurized camel milk, I guess.
So you talking about like milk, like straight at the camel?
Straight out of the udder of the camel or whatever. Some Tom Green shit. You can end up getting MERS. They said to be warned of person-to-person transmission. There's already been 2 cases reported in Qatar this year, both of which have been exposed to camels. So it doesn't sound like it's as infectious though, as COVID, even though it's deadlier.
Which is a good thing, and it's also, they also putting this out because as teams get eliminated, people are going back home and coming back home, and they was like, hey dog, like you might be taking this back to wherever you came from.
April 2012 and October 2022, there have been 2,600 cases in 12 Eastern Mediterranean and Middle Eastern countries. That's not a lot. Of those cases, 36% of the people died though. So that's a lot. Oh, that is a lot of. That's
high.
Yeah, that's like that's over 1 in 3. So yeah, I guess be careful out there. Stay away from the camels. Okay. Somebody go check on Beyonce and the family. Okay. Florida pastor and his son are arrested in alleged $8 million COVID scam.
Ooh, won't he do it?
I guess he will. A Florida pastor and his son were arrested Wednesday on charges of fraudulently obtaining more than $8 million in federal COVID relief funds and attempting to use some of the money to buy a luxury home near Walt Disney World. Evan Edwards, 64, and his son Josh, 30, were taken into custody 5 months after an NBC News report raised questions over why they hadn't been charged in the alleged scam, which federal prosecutors first identified in court papers in December 2020. It wasn't immediately clear whether the family hired an attorney. A source familiar with the investigation said NBC News' previous reporting led law enforcement to prioritize the case.
I can tell you why. Trump wasn't going after no motherfucking body. Like,
Merrick Garlands watching that news.
And you're not trying to find him. He was like, I guess what I got? The time. He was like, y'all stole big money. So, he's going after the big people, and he's going to slowly make his way down to the people that was like, I just stole 20,000. Don't matter.
Yeah, he was at home somewhere like, give me my prosecuting shoes.
He seen that article. He seen that flash across GMA #1 and was like, y'all know what? He started calling people. Investigate this.
The case dates to April 2020 when Josh Edwards applied for a $6 million paycheck protection program loan to cover payroll, rent, and utilities for his family's ministry. In the loan application, he claimed that the organization Aslan International Ministry had 486 employees and a monthly payroll of $2.7 million. Aslan International was ultimately approved for an $8.4 million loan. But when federal investigators showed up at the ministry's office in Orlando, the door was locked and the workers at the neighboring businesses told them nobody was ever seen inside. A review of the ministry's website found that the donation links were inactive and sections of the text were apparently lifted from other religious sites. Not the copy
know how
and
to make
paste.
the song right.
Not the control C. He wasn't copy and pasting.
Mm-mm.
There were other red flags.
He just Googled it. Whatever the first link was, he just copied and pasted.
Yeah, he just Googled church.
You didn't even go. They didn't even go to like 2 or 3 to get the vague ones. You're like, nope. What's that on front page?
There were other red flags. The man who was listed on the loan application as the ministry's accountant suffered from dementia and hadn't worked for the organization since 2017.
What?
Mm-hmm. So Wednesday at 7 a.m., federal agents went in at their house. Evan Edwards was wheeled out in a wheelchair. Agents escorted Josh Edwards out the home and into a law enforcement vehicle, his hands cuffed behind his back. A 6-count indictment unsealed Wednesday accuses them of making a series of false claims in their PPP loan application, including that Aslan International had 486 employees and average monthly payroll of $2.7 million. They said they both knew the actual number of employees and actual monthly payroll expenses were significantly lower and entirely non-existent.
Right, because that's the thing is they would have gave, and that's the thing that was with Trump, because all this shit happened on Trump. There was no checks and balances. You know, it's one.
I would have been up in January. I would have been up there January 6th too if I knew if he lost, I was gonna have to face the fucking prosecution
consequences. Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if a lot of them were up there because they was like, no, he ain't checking for shit. He ain't looking for shit. Like, you know, there's no checks and in fact, they gave me more than what I asked for. Who the fuck does that? They gave me more federal money than I asked for. And the thing is, if you would have done the right thing, it would have been a problem. But because you was so greedy that you out here balling in these streets, you didn't even invest in the proper website or nothing to keep them. But like, you didn't even have it. You couldn't even fake the funk where you had people going there pretend like you had something functioning.
Yeah, I would have been QAnon down to the socks, man. The 2 men who are originally from Canada were hit with a total of 6 charges, including conspiracy to commit bank fraud and visa fraud, and they were expected to appear in the federal court in Orlando on Wednesday afternoon. I'm glad they got arrested, said a neighbor who requested anonymity due to the sensitivity of the case. It's a long time coming. Yeah, they was out there like the righteous.
Like, them niggas been stealing forever. Go get them.
They was out there like the righteous gemstones.
Yeah, they were living it up, wouldn't they?
The Edwards family did missionary work in Turkey for many years before moving to Florida in 2019. They settled into a newly built community about an hour's drive from Orlando. In September 2020, federal agents showed up at the home to execute a search warrant, but no one was there and the place had been cleared out. And that's always a bad sign when the federal agents show up and everything gone, like somebody leaking or something.
Somebody knew they was coming, but guess what? They knew they was coming. Guess what? They was like, we're gonna tell these 5 people, and they were like, we're gonna bust this bitch up. They ain't know they was coming this time because they was like, they was like, but I got a wheelchair. Put him in the wheelchair. We're gonna roll your ass right on out of here because you're gonna be held accountable.
Florida police officers pulled over the family's Mercedes SUV later that evening in 2020. They were speeding on I-75 north of Gainesville. Federal agents arrived on the scene and found bags of shredded documents in the vehicle, as well as suitcases full of financial records and their electronic devices stuffed into so-called Faraday bags, which block radio frequencies to keep them from being tracked. Oh, well, you know how that happens. You know, just totally.
And nobody arrested them and held them accountable. You said this was 2020. They was fuck it, it's nothing to see here. What?
They were taken into custody on an unrelated immigration charge, were released the next day when the case was dismissed. 6 months later, a federal judge in Florida ordered forfeiture of the $8.4 million the family received after the government claimed that it was the proceeds from bank fraud and money laundering offenses. The Edwards family did not challenge the seizure. They had tried to use a portion of the money to purchase a $3.7 million home in a new Disney World development called Golden Oaks. But the deal never went through.
They're trying to with the mouse.
Yeah, trying to be up there with the mouse. Mickey was like, "You better keep that shit from around
Come on. I don't deal with the paws. There won't
Goofy
be no
cookie
money
trash.
laundering under my watch. You know, I'm all about the cheese.
Don't make me sick Pluto on your ass, you son of a bitch."
Don't
You
fuck
get
with the mouse and his money.
You get your trailer trash ass from around here, okay? But the deal never went through. The authorities seized the
Let me tell
868,000.
you why. Because Disney did their research. This was like somebody was like, "Don't you do that."
Mm-hmm.
Disney
But
was like,
yeah.
"You can't verify shit." No.
Well, also the authorities seized the down payment, so Disney couldn't have took it. Like the feds was already on them. They was like, "That's our money. What you doing? There ain't no down payment. Give me down payment on this debt y'all owe."
Right.
So damn, man, they still catching these scammers, and I love it. I love Merrick Garland. I love
Who you vote for
listen. As a black
matters.
person in America, it is very rarely that I'm rooting for the federal government. But let me tell you
It's
something.
rare. I'm rooting for that white man.
Merrick Garland got me out here looking at the DOJ like, "Do your thing, player, do your thing."
And the thing about the DOJ, and I've said this, and I will continue to say this. Maybe I was the only one. From the second that white man went up there with that soft-spoken voice, because I was listening to what he was saying, I was like,
Yeah,
he's soft-spoken. I was like, that nigga. I was like, he gonna go get him. Like I believed. I was like, oh, he is getting ready to fuck shit up.
It's kind of unrelated. I'm gonna get ready to wrap us up here, obviously. But another thing he did, he moved to end the U.S. Attorney General moves to end sentencing disparities on crack and powder cocaine.
Let's go.
Because the crack shit basically disproportionately affects black and brown people. You lock them up for longer. Yes. And at the end of the day, like, why the fuck are we doing that? Prison does not help addicts anyway. And it just became a class and race thing for cocaine, where it's like cocaine is the white upper class drug. That's the reputation. So let's not punish them. You could have way more cocaine than crack, and we will treat you like a lot nicer in the system, like you're an actual addict, if anything. And the fucking, crack, they were getting people who were addicts and saying, "Oh, you got 2 rocks on you? That's federal distribution charges." Like, so it's something that a lot of black people and a lot of activists and a lot of advocates have wanted for years, and no one's really moved on it. And here come Merrick Garland and Joe Biden, man. Shout out to them. Like, this is the white male privilege that I voted for, because the thing is, the second they do it, it's just not gonna be a thing no more. When this shit is like, we'll look back and be like, I can't believe we was ever locking people up for that shit. And it'll just be the new normal. Whereas if like Obama had did this shit, people would have like, look at him betraying the white people to help out the blacks. This ain't fair. Like, no one's gonna say shit. If anything, they'll say it's not enough, which is fine, because I love to see this shit. So
I'd rather you continue to push forward. You need people like this that will continue to say it's not enough. Like do your job. Like, that's the thing. No, it's not enough. You keep demanding and you keep telling them and you keep pushing them to get to the utopia. So I never would discourage people, no matter how irritating it might be to other people to consistently hear people complain, but also them whining and complaining and fussing and pressing and calling and all that shit is the shit to get shit like this done.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm
Me
glad
too.
that it got done. Nick Cannon feels guilty about not spending enough time with his kids.
He got a whole squad.
I mean, the thing is, we already said this, so it's a little hard to get to, like, oh man,
got a whole basketball team, starting 5 and back up.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Like, this is one of the things I've been struggling to articulate, because I don't want to come off too fucking, like, I guess, shamey or whatever the fuck. I mean, we're talking about consenting adults with all these people, and if they can do what they want to do. But I've always felt like this shit made me uncomfortable, because we all fucking know that this dude is no fucking way he can be around his kids in the way that someone needs to be around their kids to like truly be a good parent, because it's just too many families and too many kids and too many women. And then the other
Y'all are
part
not in the
of
same
it is,
location.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then the other
Mhm.
part of it is, I mean, you know, like I said, consenting adults and shit, but I always find it weird that people think he's a piece of shit, but then under some type of weird empowerment, they think the women aren't. And I'm like, but isn't this the exact opposite of what the argument has been about like child support and
Yes.
fatherhood versus motherhood? The argument that people always go to is women aren't just doing this shit for financial reasons. um you need to be in your child's life. It's not just about money, blah blah blah. But when it comes to this, they throw all that shit under the bus and they be like, it is just about money. Women are having babies with men just to get money and to be taken care of financially, and as long as that's what they want, then it's really no problem. And I'm like, that goes against every fucking argument you've ever made before now. So like, it's all weird to me. It's all fucking weird. But yeah, he now is saying he feels guilty about it. Being a father of multiple kids is always the biggest guilt on me, that I don't get to spend enough time without my children. One, because I'm constantly working it, too, because I'm just spread thin, he explained. But he is not gonna stop him from having a lot more kids out there, and it's not gonna stop the next point. I guess it's not 100% the same, but you know, I feel the same way I start feeling about like Future's baby mamas when they start complaining about them, and you thought being the 18th baby mama was gonna go different than the
I
17th.
mean, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Sierra one of the first ones? And she was
Yeah, but
like,
like, you don't got
yeah,
the
she
Instagram.
told y'all, hey, I've been keeping quiet. He keep making songs about me. You know, like, hey, dog, like this is what's
Yeah, it's
happening. They was
just
like, I'm gonna sign up anyway.
you don't have the Instagram.
Mm-mm.
You don't got the blogs.
I'm not good ideas. Get that bag, but just know that bag come with a cost. That bag ain't cheap.
Yeah, it's just interesting, man. It's because I don't have a fully formed thought on it, so I won't elaborate too much. But it has
Mm-mm.
been interesting to me watch people kind of be hypocritical about this, because in their mind they think there's a way to support the women but still think he's a piece of shit. And I don't think there's a way. Like either at least not this many women deep. Like at this point, you signed up to be the next baby mama to a man that you know can't possibly be a good father to him. So, you know, good luck to those children, because ultimately they will be the storytellers and the arbiters of who did a good job and who did
Yes,
not.
they will be.
And
They're the only people that can say if you was a good parent or not.
exactly. So we'll see. And yeah, that's about it. I think we can go ahead and wrap this up for now. We'll get to some other news later during the week, hopefully. I know plenty of shit happened, so we'll get to that. All right, y'all, until next time, I love you.
I love you too. Mwah.
Bye everybody. Y'all have a good rest of your night. Talk to you